Hurricane Olaf hits Mexico's Los Cabos resorts at Category 2. Hurricane Olaf slipped back to tropical storm force on Friday after slamming into the Los Cabos resorts at the tip of Mexico's Baja California peninsula and then drenching the region with torrential rains. The storm came ashore near San Jose del Cabo late Thursday as a Category 2 hurricane with winds of 100 miles per hour, according to the U.S. National Hurricane Center. But winds had dropped to 40 miles per hour by Friday evening, when it was centered about 45 miles west-south.
Halved in a period from then till 2019 as most African nations turned to democracy, only for it to once again be on the ascendance. Why? Different decade, same problems. In the early post-colonial decades when coups were rampant, Africa's coup leaders virtually always offered the same reasons for toppling governments: corruption, mismanagement, poverty. The leader of Guinea's recent coup, Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya, echoed these justifications, citing poverty and endemic corruption as reasons for overthrowing 83-year-old President Alpha Condé. The soldiers who led a coup in neighboring Mali last year claimed theft and bad governance prompted their actions. Likewise, the Sudanese and Zimbabwean generals who toppled Omar al-Bashir in 2019 and Robert Mugabe in 2017 respectively, deployed similar arguments.
While well-worn, these justifications still resonate with many Africans today for the simple reason they continue to accurately depict the reality of their countries. Furthermore, in many countries, people feel these problems are worsening. The research network Afrobarometer conducted surveys across 19 African countries which showed 6 in 10 respondents saying corruption is increasing in their country, while 2 in 3 say their governments are doing a poor job fighting it. Furthermore, 72% believe ordinary citizens risk retaliation or other negative consequences if they report corruption to authorities, a sign Africans believe their public institutions are not just partakers in, but active defenders of corrupt systems. When it comes to poverty, an already tragic situation has been worsened by the battering Africa's fragile economies took from the coronavirus pandemic. 1 in 3 people are now unemployed in Nigeria, West Africa's largest economy. The same goes for South Africa, the most industrialized African nation. It is now estimated the number of extremely poor people in sub-Saharan Africa has crossed the 500 million mark, half the population. This in the youngest continent in the world with a median age of 20 and a faster growing population than anywhere else, further intensifying an already fierce competition for resources. These conditions create fertile conditions for coups and for increasingly desperate young Africans who have lost patience with their corrupt leaders to welcome coupists promising radical change, as was witnessed on the streets of Guinea following the takeover, with some elated Guineans even kissing the soldiers. But as with the coups of the 1970s, these scenes of joy will likely be short-lived, says Joseph Saini, Vice President of the Africa Center at the United States Institute of Peace. The initial reaction of what you see on the streets will be of joy, but very soon, people will be demanding action, and I'm not sure the military will be able to deliver on the expectations. Basic service delivery, more freedoms, he says. Threat to democratic gains. What is clear is that these coups pose a serious threat to the democratic gains African countries have made in recent decades. Worryingly, research shows that many Africans are increasingly ceasing to believe elections can deliver the leaders they want. Surveys conducted across 19 African countries in 2019 to 2020 showed just 4 in 10 respondents now believe elections work well to ensure MPs reflect voters' views and to enable voters remove non-performing leaders. In other words, less than half believe elections guarantee representativeness and accountability, key ingredients of functional democracies. Across 11 countries polled regularly since 2008, the belief elections enable voters remove non-performing leaders has dropped by 11 percentage points among citizens, according to the survey. It is not that Africans no longer want to choose their leaders via elections, it is simply that many now believe their political systems are gamed. Leaders like the deposed Condé are part of the problem. The only reason he was still in power until the coup was because he engineered constitutional changes in 2020 to enable himself serve a third term as president, a common practice by several leaders on the continent, from Uganda's Yoweri Museveni to Alassane Ouattara and Côte d'Ivoire. The African Union is rightly condemning Guinea's coup, but its response to such constitutional abuses has been muted. These double standards and perceived elite conspiracies create the perfect environment for young swashbuckling officers like the 41-year-old Doumbouya to step in and promise to save the day. If the people are crushed by their elites, it is up to the army to give the people their freedom, said Guinea's new leader. Quoting the former Ghanaian President Jerry Rawlings, who himself led 2 coups, it is perhaps no coincidence Doumbouya quoted the feisty Rawlings, who was very effective at expressing the anger Ghanaians felt towards their political elites when he led military juntas in the 1980s. Desperate citizens living in political systems they often rightly believe are fixed can easily be seduced by anti-elite, anti-corruption rhetoric coupled with the promise of the new. We should, unfortunately, prepare ourselves for the eventuality of more coups in Africa in the coming years. They are not to be expected in richer countries with strong institutions such as South Africa, Ghana or Botswana, but in the poorer, more fragile states, as are Mali, Niger, Chad and now Guinea, where coups and coup attempts have recently occurred. 15 of the 20 countries topping the 2021 Fragile States Index are in Africa, including countries like Cameroon, Central African Republic, Somalia and South Sudan, as well as larger nations like Democratic Republic of Congo, Ethiopia and Nigeria. Africa's most populous country. This increasing probability of coups will make Africa in general less predictable and stable, innovative for investors that could end up worsening the economic situation. Can this undesirable trend be reversed? Yes, but while the international condemnations of coups in Guinea and elsewhere are crucial as deterrents to other would-be power grabbers, the only actors who truly have the power to reverse this worrying trend are African leaders themselves.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe